This is my entrepreneurial journal for the day. So today was a pretty good day. It was interesting. Didn't get to a lot of selling, but definitely did some business today, and that was positive. Miraculously, was able to get this car to these people that solving problems basically. It's really important to just continue to ask questions to get the whole story from the carrier. Found out where the vehicle was at their that they had delivered it yesterday, but they delivered it to their yard because the driver needed to reset his hours. I'm like, if you would have just told me that in the first thing, I could have made other arrangements or whatever to get this car delivered for this girl's birthday. What ended up happening, because the carrier was just making, empty promises, I actually got them to allow the dad and the daughter to go and pick up the vehicle, and hopefully it all worked out right. And what I basically did was listen, because he was very adamant about getting the car delivered today, right? And the carrier was not gonna let it get delivered today, and it's the daughter's birthday, and the dad is going out of town the next day. And so, I'm like, listen, we could try to do this, we could try to do that, but either way, there's no guarantees that it's going to be there today. The best and only option that you have is for you to go pick it up. And I think it worked out. I think the dad and the daughter are going to take a little hour and a half road trip. Of course, I'm going to discount the price and everything like that. But, it's an experience that they're going to bond together over, and so even though it didn't work out the best in my scenario, I was able to provide a solution for them that was able to get them what they wanted in the time frame that they wanted. Now, mind you, that they have to go and get it, but there was no way that we could, because of the situation and the time that we found out about the situation, get that vehicle delivered today. And of course, the father is going out of town tomorrow, and there's just no way that he would be able, even that the car delivered tomorrow, see the look on his daughter's face when she got her brand new car. And I just remember times thinking, sitting in the car with my dad and that sort of bonding experience, and what a great thing for them. I think it's going to be really wonderful and exciting, and hopefully everything works out. I asked them to send a picture or a video of when she receives the car so I could be a part of that for them. And, it was disappointing on my part. I really wanted to make sure that they got it there today. But at the same time, I'm held at the mercy of my carrier, and they were really cool, and they didn't lie to me, and they didn't promise things that they couldn't promise. They're like, we're not going to get it there today. We asked every one of our local drivers, they're not going to be able to do it today. And I was really appreciative of their honesty, because then I could take that scenario and then present my customer with a solution to get them what they wanted. So that was sort of one of the highlights of my day, and it was stressful. It's it's 5:30 at night. I'm working other business deals, and I have a very anxious father who wants to make sure that he gets this vehicle for his daughter for her birthday, and I can completely understand that, especially if he's going out of town. So, it caused me a lot of stress, and this is after we had, talked to the carrier multiple times today, and, we're looking on the GPS, and the car shows that it's in Florida, in California, and, so it's come to find out that the car is only an hour and a half away from the destination. Now, I scratched my head because I don't understand why they just didn't deliver it in the first place and why they ended up taking it to the yard. But, it all worked out in the end. So that is my that is my deal for the day. I also helped one of my new sales reps get a new deal and just really get everybody back into driving sales, getting people to work hard. We are still running into challenges with that, and it's just becoming one of those things where you have to kind of make things work for you. You have to move quickly in this business. You cannot rest on your laurels. You cannot sit idly by and wait for things to happen. Sometimes they don't. It's a stressful time for me. The rent is coming due, and I have a lot of new people that I'm supporting, and it's scary, I think, to grow a business and not know, if you're gonna make it or not, or if you're gonna just, flounder. But I have never in my life, not been able to be successful. And even though I'm having a challenging time, I'm looking out into the market, and I'm looking at other brokers and other people that I used to work with, and I am not alone in my struggle. So while I think it's all me and it's doom and gloom, it doesn't all belong to me. This is a very slow. July was one of the slowest months. It usually doesn't pick up until mid-August, and then it goes crazy. But I think it's a little different now that I'm sitting in this chair, because it's more personal to me. When I lose a customer over some, for example, I could have lost this customer because we didn't deliver the way that we, they expected to deliver. I could have lost that customer because my carrier failed me. And that happens sometimes in this business. You will lose customers, but I take it so much more personally now than I used to, because I think it's this is my babies, this is my livelihood. When I was just a salesperson, it was okay, I'll just get another one. And now it's I think it's more personal to me if I lose a customer. It's a little bit more devastating. It's a little bit more, kind of heartbreaking a little bit, because I feel one, I failed, and two, my team failed, and then I create this whole failure in my mind. But when I really look back on it, that stuff always happened. I always lost a customer, gained a customer, one came back, one came out of the woodwork. That always happens in this business. But because it's, my bank account, and I watch it go up and down, I think it's just it's scarier for me. It's a lot more pressure, and and you have this great staff, and you don't want to lose them because you didn't have a good month. That's kind of what goes through my mind, is okay, can I get through this dark time, sustain, and then also the dark times, I guess what I'm really trying to say is I'm trying to really learn from this situation that I'm in, right? Because once you learn the situation, you don't have it anymore, so it's how do I allocate my extra funds when I have them? How do I make sure that we're continually improving our process and have the best technology? How do I continue to move this company forward and retain our customers more without having to discount our prices or this and that? These are the things that, I really try to look at and learn from. Where could we have done this better so we could avoid certain situations in the future? What do we need to say? What do we need to do just to make it all better? And so that is just one of the things that really drives me, is my constant reflection of what could we have done differently in that situation to prevent what just happened? Now, some things are completely out of your control, right? Like, you cannot control the road, you cannot control the driver, you cannot control what's happening to you, you cannot control other people. Like, it's a myth. But what can I control, right? Could I have said X, Y, and Z? Can I have, made sure that the load was built properly? Could I have, should we have called the origin an extra time? Like, all these things really make you good. And so it's like, okay, so if I did everything that I possibly could to prevent any negative situation from happening and it still happens, then I know that I can feel good that, like, hey, I did everything that I could, and then I don't have to take the situation personally, right? Because shit happens. And that's just the truth about it. Like, shit happens every day. This is the road. People are texting and driving. These are semis. This is cars. There's chains. There's airbags. There's, hydraulics. People are on the side of the road. They're driving like crazy. It's summertime. It's hot. Like, there are so many variables. Somebody got caught up. The salesman was in the middle of a deal, so he couldn't sign off on the paper. They only have so many hours to drive. Like, they gotta do their electronic logs. They're pulling over to the side of the road. Maybe they got diarrhea. Like, we just don't know. I know that I was going 100 miles driving in my little tiny SUV on my way home from Nashville, okay? And it takes me 9 hours. If the guy doesn't get there in 10 hours, it's not because he didn't want to get there. I mean, they're driving a semi. It's almost impossible. So the time frame of, setting people's expectations and like it's going to happen overnight. I mean, some people are really fast and then some people are just normal. So that's all I have to say. And thank you so much for listening to my Entrepreneur's Journal for August 6, 2019. My name is Rachel Blatt. I'm the owner of Royalty Logistics, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you.